turn this radio down. I have not shown the box full of stuff yet, but you will notice in this corner, I'll open it up in a later shot, that is a BMW engine. Yeah, so I'm putting an engine in my 750 Li because the water that it ingested locked the engine up, and so I had to buy a lift table. The problem is I don't want to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, however much the AGA lift table costs. It's a really nice table, don't get me wrong. So what I did is I bought a lift table from Northern Tool, and it's a little on the thin side. It would work technically, but I spent like $700 plus shipping for this. I bought some material from Metal Supermarkets up the street, some square tubing, bought some heavy-duty casters. I'm actively widening the footprint of this hydraulic table. So once I get the footprint widened, I want to widen the top side. I already had a pre-cut piece of 11 gauge sheet metal that I'm going to weld to the top, or I'm going to weld some side struts to the top, make the overall frame out of this angle iron, build an additional top that's wider so that way it's a little bit more stable. We've got more room to do like actual engine and transmission drop with a cross member attached to it. This is really going to help for doing Z32 engine pulls. I'm basically fabricating my own take on the AGA table with two exceptions. It won't go all the way to the top. I think the max height is about 58 inches, something like that. I'll have to compromise in a few spots, but I've got the basic frame laid out already for the extension, and so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut a chunk of this angle iron that I'm going to stack on this top rail and weld it and bring these up to it to get them contacting, and then weld an entire support structure to attach the rest of it and make the whole thing rigid. So I still have a lot of welding and fab work to do, so I'm going to be here for a while, but it's shaping up pretty nicely so far. I'm pretty excited on how it's turning out. Let's keep going. All right. Oh, I've got about an hour in it since I talked about where we're at. So I got the frame built, and I'm currently working on attaching the front side to it so I can delete these middle wheels. So I got the rear. I had to go with a piece of angle iron just because of the heights. I couldn't afford to have the whole system any lower than it already was. So far, it's shaping up. So what I'm working on now is I need to get this thing mounted squarely before I attach that side. So we're gonna tuck this in here and use this as a additional brace to help distribute some of the weight. But I think I need one more shim here because you can see like it's touching right now, but we have a gap there. So I think I need to add about one more piece of material, and that should get our height where it needs to be. All right, we're tied in. I deleted the old casters, and I have this thing fully welded, fully square. It's now under its own weight again. And so far, it seems like this is going to be an awesome addition. The main reason I wanted casters in the back is when you're trying to line up one of these setups, cross member, I mean, every bit of adjustment you can get is awesome. So, you know, like say we need to twist the back, right? You do that instead of having to like pull it forward, turn it, and come back. Now with those casters out, I can tuck these in a lot further. So I'm gonna add these as secondary bracing there, just to kind of some additional areas of support. I'm actually gonna attempt to roll this thing on its side so that I can work on it and weld it. One thing that I decided not to do, even though it's basically flush across the top where the two rails were from the factory and then the two I added, coming down here, it had a slight downward rake. And at first I was gonna level it, but then I realized if I level the rake all the way across, it's actually gonna be a little bit tilted back instead of level up top. And I didn't want that. You know, this table already wasn't exactly level. So this is exactly how the table was when I started taking it apart. So I got it pretty much exactly where it needs to be. It also helps having some slight downward rake when you're pulling an engine and transmission assembly. So ideally the front of the engine's here, transmission's back there. You want a little bit of a downward rake. Don't know if I'm gonna get working on the deck tonight, but we're definitely gonna have the frame finished. So I'm excited with how well this is turning out so far. Alrighty, I'm calling it a night. It's about 10 o'clock. I've got, probably a good 5 hours in it. But the frame is like 99% done. There's a couple of things I'm gonna add to it tomorrow. I still haven't decided if I'm gonna widen the track width over here by the handle. I'm gonna leave the option to, but I do need to box this in here. I've got some thick cold rolled steel plate I'm gonna use for that. I added some gussets here just to help spread the load when this thing's weighed down. I am gonna add some additional bracing here because I don't want the backside of these casters to get overloaded, so I'm gonna brace them between these two crossbars. I'm also gonna run a solid chunk of plate steel across, and I'm gonna cut it up in the bandsaw so that I can weld to the ends, weld to my plates, as well as weld to these lower little support struts that I made. The bulk of the hard work is done. The deck up top is gonna be a lot easier because I'm just gonna take angle iron, make a box, put a couple of pieces of that flat bar as well, just across, welded, stitch welded to the deck that came on it from the factory, and then that giant chunk of sheet metal is going to go right on top. Day 2, I got a couple of strengthening brackets to make up top, just some additional connectors to kind of help spread the load. I'm going to start working on the top deck and hopefully have this thing completed today. Turn down this jam real quick. I got the frame completely built. I already test fit the sheet metal on it. I got at least where I wanted to be. I got the frame totally built, some support, pieces of flat bar just to join it to the table. I started stitch welding it. I'm gonna finish doing the stitch welding. I'm gonna add a couple of strengthener pieces here just to give it some extra rigidity, as well as a point of contact from here to here, since there's not really much base to support it underneath. Then I'm gonna weld the sheet metal on top. And I still have a couple of small pieces to build at the bottom here, just for strengthening, mainly around the casters. I don't want the backside of the casters to flex, so I'm gonna add an additional support brace there, tie all this in this direction. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm gonna keep rolling with this thing, and the next shot we're gonna have is sheet metal base on top. All right, the tabletop is welded. I just stitch welded it in several spots all the way around, so it's rigid. I added a few extra bracing pieces. So I took a piece of flat bar, rolled it upward to give it some bend strength. I don't know what the hell you call it. You get the idea. I notched it to go over the caster plates. It's welded in at the caster plates. It's welded in at each beam. I also welded it into those two lower support struts where I extended and tied into the factory frame. And then I added a couple of gussets as well. So it should be pretty solid. I'd be really shocked if I was able to bend this thing. It's like I said, I'm not going to be putting a car on it. It's just for lifting engines and drivetrain assemblies with a crossmember on. So I think I am ready to load up the Maxima drivetrain on it and see how it performs. It sure beats the hell out of the $7,000 AGA price so far. I hope I'm not speaking too soon. But I'm gonna unbury this Maxima drivetrain real quick and plop it on here. I think I'm also gonna try to, I've got like random stuff like rotors and whatever else. I'm gonna really try to weigh this thing down and just see how it performs. So Well, I think it was a success. Just for the first test run, it doesn't seem too wobbly. I didn't notice any bending. I did notice it's a little slow to get off the line, so I'm sure a little bit of lubrication will help, just kind of reduce some of the friction in it. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. The full review, I guess, is going to be how well it handles dropping my BMW setup. Well, I just finished painting it. It's a little bit more professional now. So, like I said, the real test is going to be how it performs with the BMW stuff, but I have a good feeling about it. We're going to find out next weekend, but for now, there is your cheap way to save, we'll call it $5,500 on an AGA lift table.
Okay, so we've had this thing for a few months now, and it has come in clutch across a few different builds now every single time. It worked really well for the BMW, and actually ended up being a godsend because when you reinstall the engine assembly, not only do you have to push up, but you also have to push back towards the firewall to engage the steering shaft. We also recently used it for dropping a twin-turbo 300ZX engine, as well as a complete drivetrain out of a turbocharged Ford Probe. A few minor things I still need to work out is the front handle can really be a nuisance and gets in the way. I had to remove it for all of the jobs we used it for so far, so I'm eventually going to build a quick release setup to tilt it downward. The other issue is where the strap's secure. I still haven't really worked out a definitive fix for this, but a few times now the straps actually hit the body of the car and didn't allow me to bring the lift table all the way up. Really, aside from those two minor issues, which can be fixed with some tweaking of the design, I am really happy that I took the time to build my own hydraulic lift table, but also glad that I literally saved thousands. When you're a small business, every dollar counts, and you have to know when to spend the money and when you can get away with saving money in exchange for some fabrication time and raw materials. I would say in this case the cost-benefit ratio is hugely in our favor. And that pretty much wraps it up for this Fabrication Series episode. We appreciate you guys watching as always. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share our videos with your friends.